Persian Gulf, January 31st, 2026, 30:26 in the afternoon. 4 helicopters appeared on radar heading straight for America's most powerful warship, not attacking from a distance, not firing missiles from the horizon, landing directly on the flight deck of USS Abraham Lincoln. What happened next lasted exactly 19 minutes. Every single one of those 32 men was dead before 3:39. This is that story. 72 hours earlier, January 28th, inside a secure Revolutionary Guard command facility, General Hosseini stood before Iran's supreme leader with the most audacious military plan anyone in that room had ever heard. 4 transport helicopters, emergency landing deception, land on the carrier deck. 32 elite commandos jump out, kill the flight crew, destroy the aircraft, seize the control tower, take 5,000 American sailors hostage, force the United States to negotiate, not an airstrike, not a missile, capture the carrier from the inside. The supreme leader leaned forward. "You understand if this fails, every man dies." Hosseini nodded. "They already know that. They volunteered. The order was given. Operation approved." The 32 men selected were the best the Revolutionary Guard had, experienced fighters, deeply committed. Fully aware this was likely a one-way mission, they trained for 3 days straight. Helicopter assault from a moving platform, close quarters combat, aircraft sabotage, control tower seizure. They rehearsed every detail. On the morning of January 30th, they said their prayers, wrote their final letters, and went to sleep knowing tomorrow was the day. USS Abraham Lincoln was operating 60 miles off the Iranian coast. Standard freedom of navigation patrol, 100,000 tons of steel, 5,000 crew members, 75 aircraft, 180 Marines on board, 3 destroyers and a cruiser running escort nearby. Captain Michael Harrison had already briefed his senior staff that week. "We are close to Iran. They are agitated. Expect harassment. Stay sharp. If anything escalates, we respond hard and fast." Security teams were armed. Marines were on standby. The ship was alert but routine. Nobody expected what was coming from directly above. January 31st, 1 in the afternoon. 4 Mi-17 transport helicopters lifted off from an Iranian airbase. Inside each one, commandos sat in full gear, rifles loaded, grenades armed, explosives packed, flying low over the water to avoid early detection. 100 kilometers away, 40 minutes of flight time, by 2 in the afternoon, the helicopters slowed 50 kilometers out, watching, timing the carrier's flight operations, waiting for the right window. At 3:15, Abraham Lincoln's radar picked him up. 4 helicopter contacts, northeast, 10 kilometers, Iranian military aircraft, closing. Captain Harrison gave the order, track them, weapons hot. If they turn hostile, shoot them down. Then at 3018, the lead helicopter opened the emergency channel. Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. This is Iranian military helicopter. Multiple engine failures. 4 aircraft. Requesting emergency landing on Abraham Lincoln. Please respond. Emergency situation. The carrier's air boss responded immediately. Iranian helicopter, state your emergency. What is your problem? The pilot's voice cracked slightly. Hydraulics failing. Control issues. All 4 aircraft affected. We need to land now. Please. Emergency. Maritime law is clear. You assist aircraft declaring emergency, even if you do not trust them. Even if something feels wrong. Something felt very wrong. Harrison made the call. Let them approach. Clear a landing area. But every security team on that deck, Marines ready to move the second anything looks off. If this is a trick, we end it fast. 32-19. Flight operations suspended. FA-18 Super Hornets pushed aside. Landing zone cleared. 40 jets sat parked across the deck, fully fueled, weapons loaded, worth $70 million each. 20 armed sailors positioned around the landing zone. M4 rifles up, eyes locked on the approaching helicopters. Fingers resting near triggers. 180 Marines throughout the ship received the alert. Possible hostile situation. Flight deck. Stand by to move. 3-2 4 Iranian helicopters descended through the afternoon haze and touched down on the flight deck of USS Abraham Lincoln. Engines still running. Rotors still spinning. 30 seconds of silence. Flight deck crews stood watching, waiting for injured pilots, waiting for a medical situation, waiting for a medical situation, waiting for something normal. Then the doors blew open. 32 Iranian commandos poured onto the deck with rifles raised and started shooting immediately. 20 sailors went down in the first 10 seconds. Shot, wounded, killed. Blood on the flight deck. chaos erupting everywhere at once. Commander Hosseini hit the deck running, shouting at his men, "Kill them! Destroy the aircraft! Take the tower! Move now!" The plan split instantly into 4 groups. 8 men charging the control tower. 8 men running between the jets, planting explosives and firing rockets into cockpits. 8 men holding the landing zone. 8 men killing the remaining flight crew. Coordinated, fast, violent, exactly as rehearsed. But the Americans did not freeze. Within 15 seconds, the armed sailors on deck were already shooting back. M4 rifles cracking between parked jets. 9mm pistols firing. Flight deck crew using the massive Super Hornets as cover, fighting between aircraft, protecting their ship. Within 30 seconds, the first Marines arrived. Lieutenant Jake Mitchell led his squad onto the deck at a full run. Hostile forces confirmed. Iranian Commandos. Engage everything. Protect this carrier. 12 Marines hit the deck, firing. The fight was now going both directions. At 3:22, 8 Iranian Commandos reached the base of the control tower, climbing stairs, throwing grenades ahead of them to clear the path. The tower crew of 10 sailors barricaded the door and called for help. Iranians on the stairs. Coming up fast. Need support now. Mitchell's Marines hit the tower from the opposite stairwell, climbing up, while the Iranians climbed up from below. They met in the middle. Stairwell combat. Point-blank range. Grenades bouncing off walls in a confined space. Smoke filling the stairs. 3 minutes of the most brutal close-range fighting imaginable. 8 Iranian Commandos. All dead. Tower secured. 4 Marines wounded. 2 sailors killed. But the tower held. On the main deck, 8 Commandos were destroying aircraft as fast as they could move. RPG rockets into cockpits. Grenades stuffed into engine intakes. Plastic explosives on landing gear. 4 F/A-18s destroyed. Nearly $300 million in damage in under 2 minutes. But the sailors were fighting them every step of the way, using the jets as barriers. Firing through gaps between aircraft, killing commandos mid-sabotage. The danger was extreme. Fuel leaking from damaged jets. One spark in the wrong place and the entire deck goes up. Everyone dies. Sailors, Marines, Commandos, everyone. They kept fighting anyway. At 3:24, Captain Rodriguez arrived with the rest of the Marine Company. 168 Marines flooded onto the flight deck. Marines, the carrier is under attack. Clear this deck. Kill every hostile. No prisoners. Move. 180 Marines total, now pushing against 32 Commandos. The numbers were never close. But Iranian Commandos did not stop fighting. They kept moving, kept shooting, kept throwing grenades. At the landing zone, 8 Commandos were holding position behind the helicopters. 40 Marines flanked them from 3 sides. Grenades. Machine gun fire. Overwhelming force. 3 Commandos killed fast. 5 wounded. The wounded ones kept fighting anyway. All 8 died at the landing zone. 3 Marines killed. 7 wounded. By 3:27, the 16 remaining Commandos understood the situation completely. Surrounded. Helicopters destroyed. Pilots dead. No reinforcements coming. No escape possible. Commander Hosseini, bleeding from 2 wounds, pulled his remaining men into a tight defensive circle between parked F/A-18s, back to back, firing in every direction. He knew they were going to die. He wanted them to take as many Americans with them as possible. Captain Rodriguez walked forward and called out one final offer. Drop your weapons. Hands up. Surrender now. You will be treated with respect. This does not have to end this way. Hosseini's answer was a grenade. It exploded at Rodriguez's feet. 2 Marines went down. Rodriguez turned to his men. All assault teams, final positions. Grenades first, then we go in. Execute. At 3:28, 60 Marines threw fragmentation grenades simultaneously into the Iranian position. 60 grenades. The explosions tore through the defensive circle. What was left? The Marines rushed from every direction, firing, closing in, hand to hand where it came to that, fighting through smoke and wreckage between the F/A-18s. Iranians killed Marines even while they were dying. 3 more Americans fell, 5 more wounded. But at 3:30, the last Iranian commando was dead. Marines swept the entire deck, every space between aircraft, under equipment, everywhere, confirming every single one. 32 commandos, 32 commandos, 32 dead, 0 escaped, 0 prisoners. Captain Harrison received the report at 3:35. Captain, the deck is clear. All 32 hostile forces confirmed dead, 0 escaped. Ship is secure. Harrison took a breath. Casualties. 12 Marines killed, 24 wounded, 27 sailors killed, 38 wounded, 4 Fa-18s destroyed, but the carrier was operational. The ship was holding, the crew was alive. Secure the Iranian helicopters. Medical teams to the deck. Take care of our wounded. Honor our dead. Well done, Marines. 10 minutes earlier, while the fight was still happening on deck, Abraham Lincoln had already launched its response. 24 F-18 Super Hornets came up from the hangar bay loaded with precision weapons. Intelligence had already identified the targets. The Iranian airbase where the Mi-17 helicopters launched, the Revolutionary Guard Command Center that planned the operation, the training facility where the 32 commandos prepared. 96 precision bombs. 3 targets. All 3 destroyed completely. 3,339 in the afternoon. January 31st, 2026, 19 minutes after 4 Iranian helicopters touched down on the flight deck of USS Abraham Lincoln, the operation was over. 32 men came aboard that ship with rifles, rockets, grenades, and explosives, with a plan to capture the most powerful warship in the world and hold 5,000 Americans hostage. Every single one of them was dead. The carrier strike group continued its patrol. The flight deck was cleaned. Operations resumed. Abraham Lincoln kept sailing. This is what the plan looked like on paper. Helicopters declare emergency. Carrier must allow landing by maritime law. 32 elite commandos overwhelm flight crew before Americans can react. Seize tower. Destroy aircraft. Take hostages. Force negotiation. Ultimate victory. This is what the plan looked like in reality. 15 seconds to return fire, 30 seconds for Marines to arrive, 180 Marines responding within minutes, every commando position tracked by internal security cameras, every escape route cut off, 5,000 trained personnel fighting to protect their ship, 32 men who trained for 3 days against 180 Marines who trained every day. The outcome was never actually in question. 19 minutes, 32 commandos, 0 survivors. You can deceive your way onto the deck. You can have the element of surprise for the first 10 seconds, but surprise does not hold against 5,000 people who know how to fight. The Marines cleared that deck the same way Marines always defend what they are sworn to protect, completely. Finally, without exception, 32 tried, 32 died, 19 minutes. The carrier kept sailing.